Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz, your host of the Raiders Report, and it's mailbag time. If you like mailbags, well then give a major shout out to the Silver and Black Hills. Give a major shout out to David Zahn. I was talking to 93 Navman. Who else was in that chat we had? We had LA Crash Dog, Wild One, a bunch of the OGs that were always talking. And they said, Mitch, I want to see more mailbags here on this show, and this is what the Raiders Report's all about, giving you guys what you want. First question coming in here is from the evil version of me. Pay Dak $60 million or draft Shadour Sanders. It's scary. The only reason why I'm going to say pay Dak $60 million is because I don't think that the Raiders are going to be a team that's going to be in a situation to draft Shadour in the top 10. I am a believer that the Raiders are going to be around 9 wins. If you're around 9 wins, that means you're drafting at 15, 16. So to me, this question should say, am I going to pay Dak Prescott $60 million a year, or am I going to give up 3 first-round picks at least to go draft Shadour Sanders? Sanders is showing a lot of immaturity to me, and I don't really believe in Dak. But if Dak's the Raiders quarterback right now, you're probably at somewhere around 10.5, 11 wins. Guaranteed playoff team. Doesn't mean, though, that I think that you're going to win a Super Bowl, because I don't think Dak's ever going to win a Super Bowl. Let's go to Johnny Black. Sanders is an average athlete, below average arm, below average height. If his name wasn't Sanders, he's a 4th rounder. I don't necessarily disagree with your statement of he's definitely overhyped. Like Chugs and I always say, if it was a quarterback that had the numbers that Shadour did on a team that won 4 games last year on Colorado, nobody's even talking about this kid, right? Like, there's no way. I don't think that he's a 4th-round talent. I actually do think he's a little bit more talented than that. But first-round pick, top 10 pick, it's starting to get a little bit out of hand, and I need my quarterback to be a leader. Shadour seems like a big me guy, and everything that the Raiders are building right now in their AP team comes before that name on the back of your jersey, or in my case, maybe the front. Let's go to Michael Tolbert. What's up, brother? Hey, Mitch and Chugs, which Raiders player do you think will be on the top 100 players? Devontae's a guarantee. Max was, I believe, the highest last year. I want to say Max was at number 17 last season. I'm hoping Mad Max cracks the top 10. I don't know if it's going to happen. I think it's going to happen next season once, he doesn't get as many double teams with a guy like Wilkins. I think Christian Wilkins is going to be on the top 100 list. After that, though, I think it gets a little bit dicey. I'll probably say those 3 players right there will be the only guys to get into the top 100. Colton Miller, if he stayed healthy, is a maybe for me. I'll throw in this one, too. A.J. Cole. Punters don't usually make it, but he was all-pro last season. Those are my predictions. Robert, what's up, brother? So 4 more wins are worth the additional $40 million over our current quarterbacks and payroll that could be spent better elsewhere, signings, extensions, etc. I know the point that you're trying to make, and I do think that Dak is very much better than Aiden and very much better than Gardner Minshew. However, though, at the same time, I don't mind spending $40 million extra dollars in salary cap space if it makes me a guaranteed playoff team. And I do think with Dak at QB, and let's stop mentioning Dak. If you tell me I can find a quarterback of Dak's caliber and put him at the Raiders quarterback spot, that's a guaranteed playoff team to me. Which, yes, I do think that is worth the additional money because you're trying to get to the ultimate goal. And I don't think Dak's good enough to win a Super Bowl. I also don't think that Gardner or Aiden are good enough to win a Super Bowl. So I think it kind of goes hand in hand here. Let's go to Jared. You listed Jakorian Bennett, a minicamp winner. Do you think that he starts? Well, for those of you that are watching this live right now, I'm actually going to talk a little bit about Jakorian and some of the reports that have come in with some of the camp battles going down. Jakorian was somebody that I didn't really get much information on, and then it was, Thursday when I was live on the show, had some people message me and be like, dude, you have to talk about Jakorian a little bit more. Had 2 really big interceptions at camp, is showing a little bit more confidence. Nate Hobbs talked about him in great lengths. I will say this, from what it sounds like right now, it is a battle between Brandon Facyson and Jakorian Bennett to be that other starting outside corner next to Jack Jones, next to Nate Hobbs, also in front of Merrick and Epps in there for the safety. But Bennett, if he can take that step forward, and it's tough being a rookie in the NFL. It's tough being a rookie when your head coach is Josh McDaniels. But if Bennett can take that step forward, kind of like the step that we saw Merrick make last season and Malcolm Koonce, I get it that they're, 3rd-year guys, but I'm thinking it more as the 2nd year. with Patrick Graham, the second year kind of with Antonio Pierce, and I have so much confidence in our defensive staff that I am hoping that they're able to take that next step forward. So how about this? I like this question a lot. Who's going to end up starting at corner this upcoming season? If we had to pick from these two names right here, Jakorian Bennett, type 0, it's his number, or Brandon Facyson, type 31, it's his number. If you think it's going to be somebody else as the outside corner, maybe you think it's going to be Jakorian Richardson, maybe you think it's going to be MJ Devonshire, maybe you think it's going to be somebody totally different, I don't know, Sam Webb. Let me know down below who starts at corner from these names right here. If I had to pick between those names right there, based on the information that I received, I will say this, it is a 50-50 shot between Jakorian and Brandon Facyson. Based off some of the information that I've been told, they love the experience that Facyson has, like that he's long, he's lanky. The Raiders right now want physical, big outside corners because they think it's just going to match better with their defensive line being able to get after people. They like the upside of Jakorian, but like if I could pick the other option, can I get me a Stephon Gilmore? Can I get an Xavier Howard and a Dory Jackson, somebody like that? I would sign up for that, man. Let's go to Matt. What up, Matt? How is Miller's shoulder and how long will he be out? I'll kind of say this in two fronts. I'm not going to over-panic because it is the off-season, and I think they're just taking this a little bit slow. I was told on, Tuesday that he's going to be okay for training camp. Now, I was also told that he should be okay for mandatory minicamp, and I think they're just taking it a little bit easy. He is the left tackle. There's why there is a little bit of concern, but I'm also very well tied in with Colton and his team. It's been a guy who was in my competitive wing eating contest last season, and I've reached out to his camp multiple times, and I haven't gotten any information, and that's usually information that I am able to get. So that actually worries me the most, that they're not telling me something, because they've been so communicative to me in the past. But I would say my panic level right now on Colton Miller's shoulder is probably a 5 out of 10, and that's just because he's our starting left tackle for the season. If it's July and we're still in this situation, yeah, that number's going up, man. What's up, D-Rock? It's my brother right here. Gonna be at the Week 1 Raiders game in L.A. First game I've been. Me and my son, I'm hyped. Let's go, Raiders. D-Rock, I always say this, and you might not remember the score of the game, but you're always going to remember that memory. And the fact that you're going to be with your son, dude, take so many pictures when you're walking in. I want you to take a picture right when the first touchdown happens, because I can remember my very first touchdown in the black hole in the Coliseum. It was a rushing touchdown by Josh Jacobs, Monday Night Football against the Denver Broncos. And I can just remember that video and just seeing the entire experience. Again, it was my first experience in the black hole, which, if you've never been in the black hole, you might not get it. And if you've never tailgated in Oakland, you might not get it. But man, oh man, Vegas, I'm sure is cool. But that experience in Oakland, when that touchdown happened, that reminded me of when I was in 7th grade. I went to a Penn State whiteout game. Zombie Nation, Raiders. Penn State against Illinois, Juice Williams, Rashad Mendenhall. It's all the way back to that time. And those two experiences were the most mind-blowing experience I've ever had, and I'll always remember them, and I hope that you get to experience something like that with your son. That would be really cool, man. If you're looking for wall-to-wall coverage around the Las Vegas Raiders, we're a family here after all. I'm wearing a jersey backwards for my guy, Ed Robbins. He's a real one, and if you're a real one, hit that subscribe button. I don't want you to miss anything going on around the nation. And you know what? We might not do a lot of film breakdown, but I think people watch this show because we create that family atmosphere. We have a commitment to excellence of giving you guys videos every single day. And quite frankly, nobody, I think, builds the relationship that we have. And the fact that people are part of the Noti Gang, trying to be the very first people to comment on a show, I think exemplifies that we are doing something different here. This is not just a YouTube channel. And I think a lot of people that are watching, especially in the middle of June, are the proof that Raider Nation is family. And shout out to Jaime, Raider, Sucker Free, Cali Raider, and Ron Raspberry. That's my family right there, the Noti Gang. Let's go to Eric Castro. Mitch, let's say Dallas doesn't give Dak a max contract and wants to trade. What are we looking money-wise, and what would we have to give up trade-wise? Well, there's two things here. One is he's going to be a free agent next offseason. 2, he's got a no-trade clause, so he can't really be traded unless he agrees to be traded. But the fact that he's going to be a free agent next offseason, you don't have to trade him. He's going to hit the open market if the Dallas Cowboys don't give him that max contract. What's also very interesting, though, is Micah Parsons wants a new deal. CeeDee Lamb wants a new deal. And I am actually not 100% sure if the Cowboys are going to give Dak the contract that he wants. I also know that Dak said that he doesn't care about money. I'm not necessarily going to believe that. I feel like a lot of players say that type of stuff. But, like, there is a part of me that wonders for a quarterback like Dak, if he were to go to a place like Las Vegas, right? A place where there's no tax, you could end up making some of that money back. And I really think if he was able to help just take a little bit less money on that contract so we could build something special, for somebody like Dak that it's like he's a very talented quarterback in the regular season but can't win in the playoffs, I almost want him to do something kind of similar to like what Matthew Stafford did, change the scenery, didn't take the biggest paycheck that he could have gotten. He backloaded it a little bit, but could Dak do something like that? Because if he wins a Super Bowl, I mean, I know y'all hate Dak right now, but let's be honest. If Dak Prescott won a Super Bowl for the Las Vegas Raiders, he goes down as being one of the best QBs we've ever had. And he's way ahead. He wins one playoff game. I'm not kidding you. If Dak Prescott wins one playoff game, not one playoff game with the Raiders, he's instantly better than Derek Carr. It's not even close to me. Load, Cameron, Abbott, bang! On the hills together, so we're always next door. Love to the nation. Just built a new porch for my house, and if I could see Venthrak, there was no doubt I'd chug a boot with him. No doubt, no doubt. It was funny. Zahn and I were talking the other day about trying to do like a little meet and greet together, because he was telling me that Raider Ron, and I know some of y'all, Ron's been a little bit away. He's been dealing with some stuff, but like Ron and Zahn were like the Bash brothers. Like those two were like the Mighty Ducks kids. You didn't want to F with those two guys. You know what I mean? But like if we can get a little bit of a meet and greet together, I've been told that it's in the works here. I hope that Silver and Black Hills, Mount Raider Moore, hell, people, Noti Gang, everyone. I want to do a meet and greet this summer. I know we're running out of time, but man, oh man, if anybody owns a bar or restaurant and is willing to have Chugs and I come out and have an event, please let me know. Shout out to today's MVP so far, LCA. Let's go to Juan Hernandez, my brother from another mother. What's the status on Jackson Powers Johnson? Is he good or still recovering? Based on everything I know, he's okay. I mean, he practiced for a mandatory minicamp. He was dealing with a hamstring injury during OTAs. They rested him, but he's good, man. Like, he was out there practicing, practiced both days, did a very good job. I heard he was doing a really, really good job in pass protection, which was actually something that I was more interested in. And I went back and watched my winners and losers show that I did the other day, and I was kind of mad at myself for not hitting one of the points that I wanted to make. But when you're dealing with groin, hamstring injury, some of the stuff that he was dealing with last season, and then the hammy this current offseason, how is he going to look in pass protection? Because, you know, when you're dropping back there, you're putting a lot of extra stress on your hammies. And coaches, James Craig, Raiders offensive line coach, he said that he was very impressed with him. And I'm okay. If he's healthy, if he's going out there doing his thing, I still want to know what he looks like in full pads, like breakdown and training camp. But I think he's good, man. What up, Scott? Thank you for all the nation who wished me a happy birthday. Getting drunk and puffing away. 27-17 Raiders. Thank you, Mitch and Chugs, for the content. Real one for life. Scott, you in. Happy birthday, man. And that's why I think I love the nation. It's you tell somebody it's your birthday, and instantly in this show, instantly in this chat, they tell you real quick that, hey, I got your back, because that's what we are here. We're a family. Speaking of my family, David Zahn. This guy's basically the one of one in Mount Raider Moore. Come on, Mitch. I'm sure Dak can win a Super Bowl. Dallas, or dollars to donuts, he owns Madden. He owns Madden? The game? I mean, I was going to say, you don't own Madden. Like, I'm talking John Madden. No. The game? Maybe. But I'll tell you this. I would love to see how many Raider fans think Dak could win a Super Bowl if he was with us. I already know the answer. Yoda, 23-21. Raiders are going to get the win again. Some of y'all might not know what we're talking about score-wise here. I'm live on the Raiders Report on Friday, and all of these questions and score predictions are based on our Madden simulation. I should throw that out there. Why did the polar bear bail on his wedding? This one's pretty good. He got cold feet. I got it. There's a few grins out there. What's funny is today our chat sports studio there's a lot of hungover people out there. there's a lot of hungover people out there, and I don't blame them. What up, Raider X Moss? You said Trey Tucker was a player you thought could be traded. Do you still think that? Who is the most likely to be traded now? Yeah, L, Tomato. Last week on a mailbag, somebody asked me, who do I think is the most likely player? Or that's not true. I was asked, what player do you think could be traded that would surprise a lot of people? I said Trey Tucker, and I said it because, they drafted Brock Bowers. They're going to put him in the slot. They love Devontae. They love Jacoby Myers. They signed Michael Gallup. So it was more of trying to figure out where exactly he's going to fit. And I like Trey Tucker. I said it even last week. I don't want the Raiders to trade away Tucker, but based on the moves that they made, new regime, I could see it happening. Then Antonio Pierce goes up to the podium on, what was it? It was Thursday, and he's just hyping up Trey Tucker left and right. I mean, there's no way AP, the man that he is going to say stuff that he did about Trey, giving him the flowers, and then trade him. So, Tucker's going to get involved. I don't know how it's going to happen. I would say now, if I'm going to get this exact same question, there is a part of me that, I'll throw out Tyree Wilson just because for the exact same reasons of old regime, he would probably have the most value. Maybe the Raiders don't think that he's going to materialize the way that they want. The other name I'll throw out there is Matthew Butler. Matthew Butler continues to not practice. He was a 5th-round pick back in, 2022, so old regime still. I don't know what the hell you'd get for Matthew Butler. I don't think any team would, to be honest, would trade for him, but you got to look for players that might end up getting cut, and if you're the silver and black and you go, hey, I'll take a 7th-round pick in 2026. If a team offered the Raiders a 7th-round pick in 2026 for Matthew Butler, I think they would take it at this point. If you enjoyed this show, well then, hey, check out all the videos that we do this entire month. Now, for those of you watching live, there's not going to be anything right here. But for those of you not watching this live and see this mailbag on a later date, every single video that I made this month, so I'm talking OTAs, free agency, minicamp news stuff, we're all busy in life, right? There's no way that there's somebody that's watching every single one of my videos. If you are, hey, you know what? Shout out to you, man. I really appreciate it. But I also know, not everybody can see every video. So if you want to see every video that I made in the month of June, click this button right here. Let's go to my man. Now, man, how many quarterbacks drafted in the top 10 have won Super Bowls in the last 15 years? This might shock you. I don't have this number off the top of my head. But I don't know, dude. In the last 15 years, Patrick Mahomes is on that list. I'm sure there's probably not that many, to be frank, but where was he? 13, yeah, what am I saying? Who the hell was 10 that year? Why is, 10's just Deshaun? See, here's the thing. I'm going to say, actually, I don't know. But I'll also say that I do think now, and you're going to start seeing this, because even in the last 15 years of football, it's so much different now compared to just 15 years ago. And the reason is it's just getting softer and softer and softer, right? You look at a lot of the teams that are competing every single year for a Super Bowl, they have that star quarterback. Why? The NFL protects them, the refs protect them, and then it's a pass-happy league. You can't hit people the way that you can now. So I hear your point. I respect it. It is still a team sport, but there are still teams that are time and time again getting to the playoffs, winning really, really big games, and they have these young quarterbacks. Noah, I would love to go to a meat and drink. I just hope I remember the day. Special dish, cheese with, you guessed it, salami. Salami. Noah, I will say this. I can't guarantee that Allie's going to be able to join the Raiders Report today, and I say this because I hope that you respect this. Because I know this, if the Raiders had an opportunity today to win the Super Bowl, no disrespect to you, I'm not showing up to any other stream. I'm getting ready for my own game. And, we're filming this on Friday. The Celtics might be champions tonight, and she's getting ready for her show. I'm just saying, if you're a fan of what we do here at Chat Sports, you go tune in to Celtics Live tonight. I think it's going to be rocking because I think they're going to freaking do it, man. What's up, Rich? Can a minimum contract DC win us a Super Bowl with this D-line, offensive line, these weapons, and let's say 2025, 2026 after Saints let them go? I'm over DC too, just a question, thoughts. So you're telling me if I can get Derek Carr at $1.2 million, basically what I could have gotten Russell Wilson. I will say this, I would rather have Russell Wilson than Derek Carr at my quarterback spot. Might be an unpopular opinion for the nation. I think outside of Raider fans, that's not an unpopular opinion. But, like, I'm going to say no. Like, I don't think that Derek is ever going to win a Super Bowl. And, you know, it's tough to say that because I used to always talk about DC. Hell, I still talk about Derek, right? He hasn't been on the team for a whole year. We're still talking about him. But, like, I do subscribe to the idea of if you're not a leader of men, and the biggest reason why I was totally against Josh McDaniels was because he might be a good OC. Doesn't make him a good head coach. I think Derek Carr is a phenomenal human being. Based off the players that I've talked to on that team, they've told me he's one of the nicest guys, and I believe he's probably one of the nicest guys. But in the huddle, when it really, really matters the most, are you going to be able to look at Derek Carr in the biggest situations, the biggest games, and say, like, that's a guy that I can rely on to get me to that next step? I think if the Raiders had a QB like Derek Carr, I think you're going to be in a situation very similar, like you're hoping to be in a situation like the 49ers have been in, where they have this unbelievable team, offense, defense. Their quarterback's been, you know, that kind of like Achilles heel. Now, they found something special with Brock Purdy, but, like, I would take Brock Purdy right now over Derek Carr. Like, I wouldn't even think about it. Like, I would say you're probably in a situation where you're really good AFC team, but I just don't know if you're going to be able to get over the hump to be able to beat teams. And, like, you guys know how much I'm not really for Aiden O'Connell. I think I'd rather have Aiden O'Connell as my quarterback going up against the Kansas City Chiefs than Derek Carr. Let's go to Chevy Head. Calais Campbell signed with Miami. Is there another D-line guy that we could sign? So I did a video probably 10 days ago. And again, if you want to check out those June videos, please go check them out. But I talked about some defensive tackle talents. Now, one of my guys, you guys on IG, he's known as Scout. On Twitter, he's known as Tristan. I think he's one of the best dudes. He's one of my good friends, Raiders content creators-wise. But, like, he said that he thought that the Raiders could sign a nose tackle, and it's been something that I've discussed on the show before. However, I said it's Calais Campbell, and then after that, it gets a little bit, it's like, I don't really know how much this guy can help. Some other names I'll throw out there, Linval Joseph, because of his connection with Tom Telesco. Mike Purcell's got some ties with some AFC West experience. But again, like, those guys are, they're signings that's a lesser value than John Jenkins, right? Like, you're not going to find a defensive tackle like Calais Campbell anymore. If you are looking for somebody on the defensive line, it's not a DT of, like, I'll call it that caliber. I would say Emmanuel Ogbah, Yannick Ngakoue would be the other names that I'd keep in mind. What up, Gaines? Fellow Raider Nation, I like AOC, but not enough to participate in this cult that's forming similar to what's formed around DC. Let's not forget it. Commitment to excellence, not mediocrity. I think you're bringing up a really good point here, Gaines. I'm not going to disagree with you. I don't like to use the word cult because I think that has a negative connotation to it. I look at the nation as being passionate fans, right? And it's why I am a Raider fan, because of how passionate it is. But I do agree. I call it beer goggles, right? Like, the beer goggles were on for Derek Carr. The beer goggles are on for Aiden O'Connell. And it's because you're hoping that he can turn into something that, quite frankly, just isn't very realistic. And, I think it just comes from people who maybe don't know a lot about football, having a message and trying to convey that message. And not everybody's going to like what we say here, but I feel like we've been very spot on with a lot of the, predictions that we've made. Have we been wrong? Of course we've been wrong. We make more videos than anybody out there. I've been wrong a lot. But I do think when it comes down to certain things like the big decisions, people hated us for not liking Josh McDaniels. But I was like, I don't see how you could possibly like Josh McDaniels. Aiden is a great, great human being, and I hope I'm wrong. In fact, I think out of all the takes that I've made, because Aiden is such like an A-plus dude, and he's just battled against so much stuff, I want to be wrong on Aiden really, really bad. Probably almost more than I wanted to be wrong with Josh McDaniels. The problem was, well, I was right on McDumbass. If you want more content from me, you can always follow me on Instagram. I've been trying to put a lot more videos out. Some recent videos that I have on my Instagram are, hey, you should bet your house that the Raiders are going over 6.5 games. I got a video going out that I think the Raiders could have the best defense in the NFL this season. I got one, it's like about to come out this weekend. If you want to turn, listen to this, $100 into $2,000. That sounds pretty good to me. I'm going to be dropping a video like that on my Instagram at Mitchell Renz 365. I said that, and even Chugs was like, it's not bad. Like $100, $2,000 doesn't sound bad. I'm making some different styles of videos for the nation out there, so hopefully you guys enjoy it. Give me a follow, IG, Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. And as always, you always got to show your love and your flowers to the guy that makes literally the magic happened. Jeremy Chugs. Give him a follow on Twitter, at Jeremy Chugs. Shout out to all y'all for tuning into our Raiders Report show. Mailbag, and reminder again, this was filmed on Friday, so if anything happens from the time that you see this till it's released, just keep it in mind. It was Friday.